guys, tonight I'm going to read a book to Miss Peyton, and then she can go to bed. So the book I'm going to be reading to her is Christopher Changes His Name. So here we go. Christopher was on his way home from school. He was having a bad day. The sky was dark, angry gray-blue, and it was raining all over everyone. Christopher splashed through the puddles, feeling just as miserable as the day. He was in a bad mood because he hated his name. It wasn't a special name. Millions of people all over the world had his name. There were 11 Christophers in the school and 3 in his class. Every time the teacher said Christopher, they would all answer. It had happened at least 4 times that day. It drove him crazy. And then it says Christopher, and 3 people answer, "Yes, Miss Mumford." Now, it so happened that Christopher's Aunt Gail, was visiting from Trinidad and Tobago. She told fabulous stories about a man called Tiger, how Tiger could eat 5 hot red peppers and ask for 10 more. He was so strong he could carry his cows to the market. In the night he walked softly and silently, so softly and silently that the people in the village called him Tiger. Christopher was fascinated. He wanted to be strong and silent like Tiger. He's imagining being Tiger. And in here it says, "My name is Tiger." And right then and there, Christopher changed his name to Tiger. He rushed here, he rushed there, and told everyone, "My new name is Tiger." He began to wash softly and quietly like a tiger. He even carried all the books for people in his class, because he was so strong. Everyone here and there all started calling him Tiger. Except for his teacher. All except for his teacher, Miss Mumford. She called him Christopher Malamba. A few weeks later, Tiger went to the science fair with his mother. It was happening. There were windmills and engines and all sorts of experiments all over the place. And on one table was a picture labeled "The Real McCoy." "Mom," Tiger asked, "who's the real McCoy?" "Why, that's Elijah McCoy. He was an important African-Canadian scientist. So he was so smart, he invented a way to make machines oil themselves." Well, Tiger wanted to be a scientist. He wanted to be important like the real McCoy. It was far more important to be important. Right then and there, Tiger changed his name to the real McCoy. He rushed here, he rushed there, he rushed here and rushed there, and told everyone, "My name is the real McCoy." Back at school, all through lunch, through recess, he had experimented with cups and paper clips and pencils, and who knows what. It was so cool that the whole class joined in. One boy called himself David Suzuki, another girl called herself Roberta Bondar, and everyone here and there all started calling Tiger the real McCoy. All except for his teacher, Miss Mumford. She called him Christopher Malamba. Late that evening, the real McCoy was watching basketball with his family. There was excitement in the house. The real McCoy's heart was beating as fast as he watched his favorite player swoop and score. He was moving so fast, sometimes all you could see was the number 23 flying around. Boing, boing. The real McCoy wanted to fly too. He wanted the crowds to cheer for him. Being important didn't seem so important anymore, but being famous did. He wanted to be 23. He wanted it bad. Right then and there, the real McCoy changed his name. He dribbled and dunked all over the place, driving everyone crazy. And here and there, they all started calling him 23, all except his teacher, Miss Mumford. She called him Christopher Malamba. July 24th came, and it was 23's birthday. He woke up, and there was a big card next to his bed from his grandmother. It said, "To Christopher, a very special child. May you soar and touch the sky." 23 felt good, because the card was a check for $150. Yes. He would open his own bank account. Yes. And even buy a number 23 jacket. Yes. That very same day, 23 and his mother went to the bank. 23 rushed to the manager. "Hi," he said. "I'm 23, and I'm here to open my account. And this is my mother." The bank manager looked at him and said, "How do you do, 23? Very glad to meet you." He showed him to the office and gave him some forms to fill out. Suddenly, the bank manager frowned. He looked at the check and looked at 23. He looked at the check and then looked at 23. Then he said, "We've got a problem here. The check is made out to Christopher Mulamba, but your name is 23. 23 looked at the bank manager, and it looked at his mother and said, "Yeah, I'm 23, but I'm really Christopher. Mom." And his mother said, I think you'd better handle this yourself, 23. What was he going to do? He looked inside his backpack, but his notebooks, his school books, everything now said 23. He was in a real mess. He needed some identification. Fast. Just then, who should come through the door but his best friends, Jason and Shay. He rushed to them and said, Hi, guys. What's my name?" And they said, 23, of course. The whole world was against him. He was Christopher Mulamba. It was a special name after all. It was the only name that could cash that check. Well, what was he going to do? Then he looked up and saw someone else entering the bank. Miss Mumford. Yes. "Hi, Miss Mumford," Christopher said. Miss Mumford. She looked over at him. She thought to herself. "There's that child with all the names. I think I'll humor him today. How are you doing, 23? Bang! Bang! Christopher went flying back into his chair, sat down hard, and banged his fist on the desk against the bank manager's desk. His mother looked over at him and she said, "Stop banging your foot, 23. But he banged and banged and banged. He was Christopher. Why didn't the bank manager believe him? How could he get himself out of this? "Stop banging your foot," his mother said. But he didn't stop. Stop banging. He had to get that money. He was Christopher. He banged louder and louder and louder until his mother said, "Christopher Quam Mulamba." I said, "Stop banging that foot." Christopher Quam Mulamba. He looked at the bank manager and smiled. "Gotcha." Then he carefully signed the check. And do you know what? From that day on, Christopher never, ever, ever once changed his name. Because it was so special. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to that short story. And, well, it wasn't really short for a kid's story, but I hope you guys all have a great April Fool's Day night, and I will see you guys next video, or hopefully sometime tomorrow. Bye, guys.